at the heartbeat of this, doing God's plan, is holding firm to the word of life, holding firm to the promises God has made to you, holding firm to knowing that God has this under control. The first thing we do in order to do God's plan, the first thing we do in order to follow the plan he has for us is we do the obedient thing. We do the obedient thing every time we do the obedient thing. But wait a minute, Jacob didn't do it. And God still showed Jacob he had his plan worked out. Hey, we have a God who, by his grace, definition, unmerited favor of God. God's grace is still here with us when we don't do the thing we ought to do. What does Philippians 2? And we're going to take a look here at Philippians for the next few verses. But Philippians 2 tells us, Paul writes, "Therefore, my dear friends, just as you have always obeyed, so now, not only in my presence, but even more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling." Man, this work out your salvation thing, it's a know Christ and study his word and know him, but it's also do the thing that you know you need to do. And so how do we do God's plan? Well, we do the obedient thing. And so wherever you're at today, man, I'm going to do the thing that I know is obedient to Christ. We do the obedient thing. The next thing we do is we do the loving thing. We do the loving thing. We do the obedient thing. We do the loving thing. Also in Philippians 2, what does Paul tell us? He says, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves." What is that? Man, that's love, right? I'm not going to look to my own desires. I'm not going to look to what's convenient for me. I'm not going to look to what makes me happy. Instead, I'm going to look to what you need. And I'm going to look to how I can meet your need. And I'm going to look to how I can do the thing that would be best for you. Because that's the thing Christ did for us. So how do we do God's plan? We do the obedient thing. We do the loving thing. And then, okay, big word. We're going to give you a $5 word now. Do the aspirational thing. What do you mean, Pastor? Do the aspirational thing. What does that word mean? The thing, okay? So think about who you want to be. Who do you want to be tomorrow? Tomorrow morning when you get up, who do you want to be compared to who you are today? Do the thing that will make you that person you want to be, that will make you the person who's walking with Christ better, the person who's loving the people around you better, the person who's being more obedient. And so today, as you have opportunities, you do the obedient thing, you do the loving thing, and you do the thing that's going to, the aspirational thing, the thing that's going to make you who you want to be, the thing that's going to make your marriage the thing you want your marriage to be, the thing that's going to make your family the thing you want your family to be, the thing that's going to make your small group the thing you want your small group to be, the thing that's going to make your church the thing you want your church to be. You think about, man, who do I want to be? What kind of church do I want to be a part of? What kind of family do I want to be a part of? How do I want my marriage to be? And you take all those things and you go, I'm going to do the thing that's going to move me that direction. Philippians 2:13, we read 12 a minute ago, right? Paul writes, "For it is God who is working in you, both to will and to work according to his good purpose." Here's the thing. If you're a believer walking with Christ, you know, you have an idea because God is working to give you an idea of who he wants you to be tomorrow that you're not today. Who he wants you to be a week from now, who he wants you to be a year from now, who he wants you to be 10 years from now. And you know, one of the things that you learn as you study how life works, or as you become old, I'm learning this as I become old. I was reading a book and the guy made the point. He said, we can usually accomplish more in a year than we ever imagined, but we usually can't accomplish as much right now as we would like. And so as you think about who you want to be, man, if you make incremental steps toward the person you want to be every day, in a year, you're going to be a different person who's walking more closely with Christ, who's loving the people around you better, who's doing the obedient thing, who has made your life and your marriage and your family and your friendships and your small group and your church something better than it is today, significantly better. But probably in the next 2 weeks, you won't become a much different person. And so every day it's incremental. What can I do better? So do the obedient thing, do the loving thing, do the aspirational thing. And then the last piece here, trust him. Trust him. Trust him. Again, in Philippians 2, Paul writes, so that you may be blameless and pure children of God. This is right after this part that said, do the thing the others desire, not your own desires. So you may be blameless and pure children of God who are faultless in a crooked and perverted generation, among whom you shine like stars in the world by holding firm to the word of life. This, at the heartbeat of this doing God's plan, is holding firm to the word of life, holding firm to the promises God has made to you, holding firm to knowing that God has this under control, holding firm to trusting that, man, there's going to be a day I come back here with the descendants God has promised me. And I'm going to know in that moment, man, this is really where God has brought me.